Hi, and welcome to Screens in Focus podcast, where we share and connect as we spotlight our favorite shows and movies. I'm Diana, and today we have TV and movie recommendations for you. I want to thank you for coming back to join us today. And although we are on summer break, I know sometimes you get used to something coming out, and when it doesn't, it can be a huge bummer. And I didn't want that to happen. So what I've decided to do is to pick a few TV and movie recommendations from previous episodes and highlight them here with added commentary from me. And starting off with episode 158, Top Gun, here is Lee and Joe sharing their TV and movie recommendations. I just want to ask you if there's any recommendations you have, any TV or movie recommendations for people out there that looking for something to watch right now.
Yeah. As far as movie recommendations go, TV recommendations or / movie. If you're a Star Wars fan, please go watch Obi-Wan Kenobi. It's really good. The third episode just came out today at the time of this recording, Wednesday. So they come out every Wednesday. So it's just a really good expansion into that character in Star Wars. And also another TV recommendation that I would watch is Moon Knight, which is a Marvel movie about a slightly lesser known character in the Marvel sort of universe, but Oscar Isaac's in it. His acting is amazing. It's a different kind of superhero, so it's great, definitely. What about you, Wiz?
And for me, I just finally saw Tick, Tick, Boom, directed.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Directed by Lin-Manuel Miranda. So go watch it on Netflix. It was so much better than I thought. It was so good. So I know that I'm a little late to the party, but if you haven't seen Tick, Tick, Boom, go watch that. You will not be disappointed if you enjoy musicals. So,
and Andrew Garfield is so good in it.
Right, exactly. I love him in Spider-Man. So I'm like, whoa, he is so talented.
I was blown away. So I love that. Okay, so for me, I am watching the same. I'm watching Obi-Wan Kenobi, and I am loving it. I'm really excited about it. But the other thing that I'm watching is Stranger Things season 4.
Yes.
And it just came on this past weekend, and I'm trying to stretch it out because there's only so many episodes, but it is so good because you have these young kids trying to fit in at school, being bullied at school, and you just trying to get by. And then all of a sudden this horror aspect comes and hits you in the face, and you're like, what is happening? And it's a group of kids that is out to save the community and eventually probably the world in some regard. But I just love that. And I love all the actors in it. I really do. I think these actors are amazing. The fact that they cast them when they were so much younger and now they're teenagers, it's just amazing. I think that they did a phenomenal job casting for Stranger Things. And I love it because it's the 80s. And I told you guys earlier that song is from the 80s. So it has great music. And so that's my recommendation. And from episode 159, Margaret had this to say about Stranger Things season 4, volume 1.
Stranger Things, I love Stranger Things. I'm so glad. I was not happy that there was such a long break because of the pandemic, but
Yes.
I'm so glad that there was, because this show was seamless. It was in one thing after another, just amazing. And I watched all of the episodes between Saturday and Sunday evening, and Stranger Things was just so rich, and the characters and just everything about it was just, even though it's the same kind of storyline, the same repetitive, action or antagonist, protagonist, that kind of thing, evil, the town is cursed, all this other stuff. But wow, so good. Just so good. I love it. I love the character. Even though they're older, I thought I was going to have trouble with that because they're all older.
Yeah.
By 5 years. Really like 3. But still, I thought it was just so well done. just so believable. I mean, I just love it. I love it. I can't wait for the next round in July.
I also want to add, we will be releasing a Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 2. It'll be out in just a couple of weeks, so please stay tuned. We're so excited. Devin and Cindy will be joining me again, and oh my gosh, we have so much to talk about. But until then, here are Cindy and Devin's recommendations from episode 162. Okay, so I would like to know if you guys have any other movie and TV recommendations.
We have so many, Diana, because we watch so much television. I could go like 10. My favorite show is, and we talked about this before, was Resident Alien. And it's got 2 seasons, and it really finds itself like towards the end of the first season.
Yeah.
And it's real, it's funny, and it's actually a little creepy at times. It's got heart. Yeah. It's got a lot of heart in it. And it's a fish out of water story. So he's from a different planet. He's here. He looks like one of us. He's able to change his appearance, and it's him learning about us. And as you can imagine, there's probably a lot of funny things that happen. So
yeah, I love that show too. I think the actor is hilarious. He's so good. Yeah.
And I would say, if you haven't seen Pistol, loved Pistol.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's that on?
It's Disney Plus, actually. They had it on Hulu. I don't know if it's on Disney, but Disney's the one that bankrolled it. So, that's a good show.
So good. And definitely worth talking about. It is just so many neat things. It was fun.
What's the main premise?
It's about the Sex Pistols.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Really interesting how they came to be, and all of the famous people that came from that little part of England that watched the Sex Pistols, like Chrissie Hynde from the Pretenders is in it, and they've got Susie and the Banshees, and they've got the Buzzcocks and the Clash, and like all of these bands that were, around or started because of the Sex Pistols. But it really just tells Steve Jones's story, who's the guitarist of the Sex Pistols. So it's a good show.
I'm going to watch it. When you said pistols, I'm thinking of like guns, right? Yeah. So I'm thinking it's a Western, right? She's going to tell me about a Western. Sorry, I forgot that the Sex Pistols had, is it a documentary, like a 2-episode, 3-episode? How long is it?
It's 6 episodes. And it's based on, the guitarist wrote a biography. And so they based it on his book.
I love that.
It's told from his point of view.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to watch it. Watch it. Thank you.
Really good. And I think, it was fun to watch with Devin, obviously, because he knows so much about that music and that time period and the influence of music during that time. And it was funny, he would be saying something and telling me about this historical piece of information, and then it would be in the next episode. And I was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. It's true. And, but it was really fascinating to see the influences that were there, like the fashion, and how all of that came to be, and just what they were trying to do with this band in creating the band, and what they were trying to achieve by building them. And it was amazing to me because I've just never seen anything like that, or even heard of that ever happening. And maybe it's happened with other bands or other situations, but the level of influence that made everything happen through the course of history just the way this guy wanted it to be.
Yeah, he says, the manager, Malcolm McLaren, says, as he's putting the band together, he says, I don't want musicians, I want agents of destruction. But
wow.
He was selling an idea.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
I want to see that. We talked about it in a previous podcast episode, but I don't know if you guys have seen, it's the David Letterman show, My Next Guest Needs No Introduction. It's on Netflix. And his first, it's in the third season, I believe. And this first interview is with Billie Eilish and Phineas. And I really, really enjoyed that. And I've seen the documentary regarding both of them, which I really liked the documentary on them. And I liked this episode. And with all of that, the reason is because I love people that are true musicians and hearing or watching how they work and how they work off each other. And I just love that. So I'm really looking forward to watching Pistols. And I'm so glad you recommended it to all of us. So it's very exciting. So I can't wait to watch that. And I don't know very much about them. So I can't wait to learn. And the fact that it's 6 episodes, that's a lot to dedicate to this. So I'm sure it's really well done. So I can't wait. Yeah. So I watch movies and TV all the time and I give out my recommendations on what I see. But the recent things that I've seen just in this last week are Lightyear, the Pixar Disney film. And I wasn't sure how I felt going into it because I knew that Chris Evans was voicing Buzz Lightyear and not Tim Allen. But what I came to know is that this movie is not about the toy. It's about the real character. And so that's why there's a different voice, a new person. And it's the origin story of Buzz as a young astronaut marooned on a hostile planet and his intergalactic adventures that deals with time and with friendship and teamwork. So it was a cute film. I liked it. I went with my son and his girlfriend, and so it was kind of fun to watch it with them. I'm a huge Toy Story fan. And even though that's somewhat of a character, you kind of have to separate yourself from that because Toy Story is, based on the toys and what it's like when a human leaves. And that's my favorite. Computer generated, animated. That's my favorite one. But this was good and I did like it. So good. And I also started watching The Old Man on FX Hulu with Jeff Bridges. Oh, yeah. And he plays Dan Chase, a former CIA operative who has been living off the grid, and an assassin is sent after him. So he has to get up and run. And John Lithgow plays an FBI assistant director for counterintelligence and is called upon to bring him in because they have this complicated past. So I've only seen one episode. I think there's 2 episodes out. And when I was first watching it, I said, okay, this is going along. This is fine. But oh my gosh, when Jeff Bridges has to fight, it was so cool, you guys. It was so cool to watch Jeff Bridges fight out of the clutches of another assassin, someone trying to kill him. It was so good. I was like riveted. Yes. And so you have to get to that part though, right? Because otherwise it just seems like a regular show and you're just watching it and you're like, okay, what's happening? But man, to see Jeff Bridges in action was so cool. And I was like, all right, I'm watching episode 2 and 3 and whatever else. If this is how it goes, I'm in. So that's my initial reaction to episode 1.
Good. Yeah, we're in the middle of watching The Boys. So we haven't finished it yet, but have you heard of it?
I haven't seen season 3. We're on season 3, right?
Oh gosh, we're not there yet.
No, we're not there yet. We just started.
So you have watched it.
Oh, I have. Yes. I heard that this season is a little hard to get through. My son told me that,
all hard to get through. My goodness.
Even he said, okay, the opening gets it's a little bit hard to get through. I know, because you're right. The boys just, they have no boundaries. They just do whatever they're going to do. You're right. So so I the new season is out and I haven't seen the new season yet. But yes, I do watch The Boys. Okay, so I recently watched Severance on Apple TV at the urging of my son, and I was so happy I did. It was really a mind trip. It was really fascinating. I was confused. Yes, I was, but I'm so glad I watched it. And now There are so many Emmy nominations for this show, so you should just check it out. The acting is phenomenal. And here is Margaret's take from episode 143. What else are you currently watching?
Well, I decided Ben Stiller is doing a show Severance, which is on Apple TV, Apple Plus. And I like the people who are in it. I'm not sure, didn't have any idea, any preconceived, expectation. I just sat down and started watching it. And it just is a really kind of fascinating sort of, is this what it's like to work in the government? And it just was really kind of funny, weird. I mean, it was just really weird. And I always think of Ben Stiller as being sort of the kind of guy, but he's the writer, probably director, probably producer, probably the whole deal. And it's just really kind of a twist on traditional comedy. And that's it.
So friends out there, I really want to thank you for tuning in today. I know this was a different sort of episode, but again, I just wanted to give you some recommendations in case you missed some or you weren't able to tune in. And I referred to the podcast episode they were in, so you could go back, listen to the other TV and movie recommendations we have on that particular episode. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate you. That's our show. Thanks for tuning in. We are grateful you tuned in, and we hope something we said today resonated with you, gave you a chuckle, some happiness, some positivity, or inspiration. You can go to screensandfocus.com and connect with me there and tell a friend. We would love more members of our TV club. Yes, we're on summer break, but there will be periodic releases on TV and movie recommendations. You can go to our blog for more. Stranger Things will be coming out soon. And we'll be back with the Walking Dead universe in the late summer or fall. We'll see you next time. Bye.